Okay, welcome back, my dear friends. So, in our previous presentation, right, in connection with the design principle of internet connectivity, we had started looking at some of the prerequisites. What are the different terms that we come across in our network connectivity, right? So, again, I will briefly recall we have moved from the physical or data link layer to the network layer now, wherein you need to have the connection established between the different entities in the network layer, maybe by making use of the internet. So if it is between the entities only in the network layer, as long as the internet is not involved, there are certain protocols, and when the internet is involved in the communication, there are certain other protocols exclusively meant for the internet connectivity. So that is the reason why when I want to go with the protocols and other things with respect to the internet connectivity, it is essential for us to know some of the basic terminologies which are connected with the web connectivity, so which we have already seen in our previous presentation, like what do you mean by web protocol, right? What are the firewalls? What do you mean by path? Then what is the meaning of URI, or what is the meaning of URL? All these things we have seen in our previous presentation, right? In continuation with that, let us look into some more parameters which frequently for internet terminologies, that is datagram. Okay, so this is another definition which we need to know, or we sometimes refer to them as datagram packets. You know what is the meaning of packets here, right? So the datagram is basically, it is you can call it as limited size data. Datagram basically refer to as limited sized data, okay, which we generally come across in our the internet terminologies, right? The packets basically are used, right, to implement the connectionless delivery service. So what do you mean by connectionless delivery service here, right? So connectionless means, see here, one message, let us say that each message will be routed from one machine to another only based on the information contained in the packet, right? So now you have got the packet wherein you got all the information along with the data, where exactly it has to go. Please recall the examples of the envelopes that we put it in the post box, right? So now here in the datagram packets, it is going to establish the connectionless service, in the sense each message is routed from one machine to another only based on the information contained within the packet, right? So you will not be able to get any information from the server or something like that. So whatever you have in the packets, only those informations will serve as the reference to route this particular data to the destination, right? And you can have the multiple packets sent from one machine to another, so they might be routed in the different direction, right? Suppose if you want, see, this is the source, okay, and this is the destination. You start sending the packets, right? So you start sending the packet, you have the multiple packets here, this is one, this is one, this is the one. So all these packets need not be enrouted through same route, right? Ultimately it has to reach the destination. Here there may be different paths available, right? So this may take this path, this may take this path, this may go like this, right? Ultimately they have to go to their destination here, right? So this is what is the meaning of the datagram. And the data which you have sent from here, that is these packets, right? You have the packets here, let us say that this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3 here, right? So they need not go in the order in which they have been sent here, right? So your third packet may reach first, the second packet may reach last, or something like that. This is what we mean by, you know, the datagram or the data packet, right? So after having seen the datagram or the data packet, let us look into one more thing that is called as representational state transfer. Representational state transfer. So this we also call as REST, R-E-S-T, representational state transfer or REST. So what do you mean by representational state transfer? It is basically one of the architectures. Let us not much worry about this. It is one of the architectures which we use in our internet terminologies, right, or in the web connectivity mechanisms, right. Basically, this architecture, which refers to the way of defining the identifiers for the resources, methods, access methods, and data transfer during the interaction, right. It is a software architecture, so it defines different, you know, practices, different constraints. I will tell you what exactly we mean by the constraints, the characteristics, the guidelines of creating scalable web service. Scalable web service, right. So now, in a nutshell, you try to understand it in this way. It is an architecture, right, which defines or which refers to the ways of defining the identifiers. We have already seen what exactly are the identifiers. For what? For the resources, methods, accessing the data transfer when the interaction takes place, right. It specifies the practices, constraints, characteristics, and guidelines for creating scalable web service. What do you mean by scalable web service? Scalable means it is as per the size, right. So the term scalable means it is as per the size. As the size varies, the methodologies of identifying these things also keep varying, right. So basically, it is used to design the web software component, right. This REST is used for designing the web software components. This is the parameter to be understood here, right. We will see something more about this, you know, the RESTful environment and other things later, right. But at the nutshell, you please try to understand that the representational state transfer, basically it is one of the web architectures, right. So now from this we have something called RESTful. Please try to understand these words carefully. What do you mean by RESTful here, right? REST, it stands for representational state transfer. RESTful means the one which follows the REST architecture, or in a specific manner, the one which follows the REST constraints and the characteristics, right. So what are these REST constraints, what are these REST characteristics? We will see later as and when it appears. Maybe since this is purely associated with your protocols related to web connectivity, we have to only know the definitions of these things rather than going much into the details. Please try to understand that it is one of the architectures in the web connectivity, and the one which follows these architectures in terms of the constraints or characteristics, that is called as the RESTful resource or the RESTful parameter. Okay, so this is about some of the definitions which we wanted to take here. But apart from this, we have certain other the web communication protocols, right. What is web communication protocols? Web communication protocols, I'll come to this one second. This is called as web communication protocol. There is some problem here. I will just write it as WCP, web communication protocol, right? So what do you mean by web communication protocol? Ultimately, our idea here is to make sure that the data from source, it has to reach the destination. Let us say that this is the source and this is the destination, of course making use of the web service here, right? So now whenever you want to send the data from source to destination, see, in the connected system you could have n number of sources, you could have n number of destinations, right, which are simultaneously trying to transfer the data from one source to another destination. So one another source to another destination, from the same source to multiple destination, something like that. All these things are very much possible. You also know that in your day-to-day life what kind of internet connectivity takes place. Okay, so now here, as long as the implementation of these things is concerned, right, we need to follow the web-based communication protocols for the connected devices, right? So the data of the connected devices, right? So now let us say that I have got one device here, I have got another device. So both the devices are required to be able to have the data transfer between them because they are connected, right? So the data for this connected device routes over the web. Okay, so now this is what I mean by the web, okay, the internet, right, or the connectivity, the arrangement between the source to destination, right? So it routes over the web in two types of communication environments, right? So that is what defines your WCP, two types of communication environment. The first one here, it is constrained restful environment. Constrained restful environment, and many a times it is referred to as core. You please try to understand this particular word, right? So in fact here in this case it becomes a small letter, core, constrained restful environment, right? So what do you understand by the constrained restful environment, right? So constrained, the very word you try to understand what exactly we mean by the very word constrained here. The literal meaning of the constrained is that it is subjected to certain conditions, right? Beyond that condition it may not be able to operate. Constrained restful environment, right? So the IoT devices or your machine-to-machine communication devices communicate between themselves in a local area network, and typically here in this case, right, they make use of the LAN, and I have already told you in the previous class tens of bytes. So now you will come across what exactly we mean by tens of bytes. Okay, so constrained restful environment. So here what exactly happens is you have got something here, okay, one device, you have got another thing here, you want to have the communication between these two devices, and please note that it is in a constrained environment. You will not be able to have access to all the resources that your internet service always provides, right? So this is called as the constrained restful environment. Generally your IoT or your the machine-to-machine communication, they make of the local area network here, and usually the number of data bytes that are exchanged or that are transferred between one source to another destination, they are limited to tens of bytes, right? So again you have the data gathering, enriching, consolidation, right? So after all these things have taken place, right, it is possible for us to make this communication to happen to the higher layer. Let us say that I have got one more layer here, or one more communication device. This is another layer. This let me call as the higher layer. So here, when the enriching of the data and other thing has taken place, you may have the data which is transferred in the forms of, you can say, hundreds of bytes, right? So now what exactly we mean by this? So the tens of bytes, they are transmitted between one device to another device in the constrained environment, which are subjected to lot of constraints as long as the network capabilities are concerned. But from this environment, it is possible for you to transfer the data to the next device through another layer, what I am showing here, right, wherein it is possible for you to send hundreds of bytes. We will try to understand what exactly we mean by this. This is one aspect related to the constrained restful environment. Please try to understand it from the point of view of our IoT scenario, and once I tell you what exactly we mean by unconstrained environment, right, unconstrained environment, probably you should be able to make the difference between the constrained environment and the unconstrained environment. Now let us look into one more thing here, which is referred to as unconstrained environment. So now when I speak about the unconstrained environment, right, so what you should think generally is our HTTP. Okay, we have already seen something like this, right? HTTP, hypertext transmission protocol. So this makes use of the internet. Okay, the unconstrained environment where your web applications used HTTP or RESTful HTTP for web client and web server communication, right? When I start speaking about using HTTP, you can transfer thousands of bytes, right? So you don't have any constraints here. You have got the entire internet, of course, abiding by the protocols which are given in our internet communication, right? So accordingly, you should be able to transfer the data between a client and the server, or the web server communication, right? So basically here we generally make use of TCP or the IP protocols, which I have not yet explained. Definitely we will have in detailed discussion on the transmission control protocol and internet protocol, which specifically refers to our unconstrained environment, right? We have the constrained environment wherein in the first stage the data transfer is limited to some tens of bytes. Then you go to the unconstrained environment wherein you make use of the transmission control protocol or the internet protocol using your HTTP, right, the hypertext transmission protocol. Okay, so these are the two types of environment over which the data transfer takes place, right, in the web communication for the connected devices. The constrained restful environment, and the second one is the unconstrained environment. And again, in the constrained restful environment, generally we make use of something called as COAP. COAP. So this COAP stands for Constrained Application Protocol. Constrained Application Protocol. Constrained Application Protocol, or it is also called as, just now I have told you, right? So let me look into one diagram which probably should be able to take you to the differences of what we mean by constrained environment and unconstrained environment by virtue of the addresses, right? So the addresses which are used in the constrained environment as well as the unconstrained environment, right? So let me go to, yeah, this is one diagram which you can think of, where you have the constrained environment, right? So see, these are the end devices, okay, right? So now you should be able to understand what exactly these things are till I reach the cloud. So the constrained environment is limited to this range, okay? The constrained environment is limited to this particular range. You have the number of devices, okay, one second, you have the number of devices and the connectivity, right, which is limited by the very environment, right, which is said to be constrained. But once you go beyond this, right, once if you go beyond this, you will have the unconstrained environment, because your internet or your cloud service and other things will come into picture, okay? So now if this diagram, okay, fine, this diagram, so this should be able to give you some idea about what exactly we mean by the IoT or machine to machine devices, local network connectivity and web connectivity in both constrained and unconstrained environment, okay? So now if you look at this diagram, the first part of this, okay, we have already come across earlier, probably you should be able to appreciate that, right? We have the physical and we have got n number of devices or I number of devices, right? Each will be trying to communicate to the other layer by means of the different the communication technologies. We have Bluetooth or Zigbee, wireless technologies or wired technologies, which we have discussed in detail, right? So when I speak about the tens of bytes here, right, it specifically concerned with the constrained environment, right? So constrained environment means you have something called COAP, you have something called COAP. I'll just come to that particular point again. You can see here COAP colon double slash something like that, right? Anything which starts with COAP, so that refers to the communication in the constrained environment. See here you have the COAP, which refers to the protocols related to the constrained environment, right? So which are the different devices or the different mechanisms that we use that uses the COAP, that is also written here. You can have communication technology, right? 6 low power personal area network, your Zigbee neighborhood network, Bluetooth smart, Zigbee IP or something like that. So now that is one part. The second part, which refers to unconstrained environment, that is called as HTTP colon double slash, right? So that means this particular diagram represents the IoT or machine to machine communication devices local network connectivity as well as the web connectivity, because so far we have seen only, okay, we have seen only up to this in our previous presentations. Now we trying to discuss about the internet connectivity. The remaining part of the system will come into picture. That is what is your, could it be the transportation layer or the application support layer or something like that, right? And accordingly you may have the different types of the protocols also coming into picture here, right? You have got UDP, DTLS, COAP, right? HTTP server, HTTP client, TCP, TLS, all these things we will discuss as and when they appear. But now one thing you should try to understand here is that tens of bytes here, you start from tens of bytes here, then you go to hundreds of bytes. See here you have got thousands of bytes, that is using the unconstrained HTTP environment, right? Basically, this diagram represents IoT or machine to machine devices local network connectivity as well as the web connectivity in both constrained, which is this one, as well as the unconstrained restful environments, right, using the communication protocols, different communication protocols. So this is the background for us to go into this part now, wherein we have got like the web connectivity. So we will have to discuss about. So please try to have the chronology how we have proceeded. We started from the device and we have seen different communication technologies, right? Then we completed the aspects related to the physical or data link layer. Then slowly now we are moving into the web connectivity principles or the design principles of the web connectivity, wherein we speak about the
now start discussing about the internet connectivity principles, right? So whatever we have discussed in the previous presentation and this so far serves as the prerequisite for us to understand the internet connectivity principle. We have already seen some of the important terms and protocols as long as our web connectivity is concerned just now, right? We have seen some of the words like UDP, HTTP, URI, URL, right, and other things, right? So now those things will serve as the prerequisites for us to discuss about some of the aspects related to the internet connectivity, right? Now when I speak about the internet connectivity, let me go to this here. Internet connectivity, when I speak about the internet connectivity, I need some background to make you understand, right, the different protocols that we exclusively follow in the internet connectivity, right? So all of you know what is internet, right? I think without internet our survival itself is not possible in the present context. But most of us are the end users of the internet, right? So we get something from the internet, we use it and we accordingly act, right? Then we just forget it, right? Suppose if the internet is not there, then only we will try to worry why it is not there, whether my data package or the pack is over or something like that, right? But the internal aspects, right? So when something is sent from some corner, how exactly that is reached to you, right? What are the different protocols, what are the different methods, right? How the data is transferred from one end to another end, that is required to be understood here. So because in our IoT scenario also, the internet connectivity plays a very important role, especially in the network layer, right? So what is internet? Now let me quickly look into these things before we go into the protocols and other things, right? Internet is a global network with a set of connectivity protocols. This is to be understood. Being the engineers, we are more interested in the the operational part rather than the application here, right? How exactly these things can be materialized, right? It is a global network with a set of connectivity protocol for connected devices gateway for sending the data frames of the devices or to the devices, the data communication over the network as packets. So this is very important, the data communication over the networks in the form of packets which communicate through a set of routers at the internet. The processes manage, acquire, organize and analyze the data of the IoT devices for the applications, services and business process, right? Again we have come to manage, acquire, process the data. Okay, so now when I speak about these things, I am purely concentrating on what we have discussed in our IoT definitions, right? So basically I am looking at the internet from my point of view, that is the Internet of Things, right? So here the most important things what we need to know as far as the internet connectivity is concerned are: one, the protocols, the packets, routers, then how exactly are responsible for making the data management, acquisition of the data, processing of the data, ultimately for the purpose of the business or some service or some applications. That's what we have taken in the case of the IoT definition, right? Now the devices perform the controlling and monitoring functions using the messages, data stacks and commands sent through internet by the applications, services and the business process, right? So this is what is the basic thing which we need to understand as long as the design principle of internet connectivity is concerned, and how that is required or how that can be purviewed from the point of view of Internet of Things, right? So with these backgrounds, now what we need to do here is we have to understand some of the basic protocols or the basic definitions, how we have seen in the case of web, already seen some of the basic definitions in the web connectivity, and the same thing now shall be implemented or shall be analyzed for the internet connectivity. There are some specific terms, maybe there are hundreds of terms related to the internet connectivity. Let us not go into all those terms, let us go to precisely the specific terms as required by our applications in the design of the Internet of Things. Okay, so with that the today's presentation I am going to stop, right? Again it is a very general presentation. In the next presentation, specifically with the principles of internet connectivity, I will come back. If you have any doubt or any difficulty related to whatever we have discussed so far, please get back to me. Thank you.